I'm so tired. Okay, so a while ago, I quizzed my roommate on Banjo-Kazooie, and that was really fun. And then immediately after that video, I made another one where I made Pokemon teams, where the 6 Pokemon in each team represented the different levels in Banjo-Kazooie, because that sounded like fun. And it was. And recently enough, I quizzed her again on Banjo-Tooie this time. And so I wanted to do that again and make Pokemon teams representing Banjo-Tooie levels this time. And I did. I gathered all the Pokemon originally, and had all that ready. And then a ton of garbage happened, and I became very busy for a long time. So now I'm finally actually making that video, but here's the real kicker is, so I had to, like, figure out why I had picked each of the Pokemon, because I didn't write that down or anything. And so I was like, I had to figure out what I was going for each Pokemon in each of the teams. And also, some of my choices were stupid. They were dumb and bad, and I'm going to expose myself and reveal my stupid, bad, dumb ideas alongside my new, better ideas. So come along for a ride, and let's begin. Alright, so first we have Mayhem Temple, which I think is actually pronounced Mayhem Temple, but that one sounds worse, so I'm just gonna keep calling it Mayhem Temple. Don't at me. So, first up, we have Tauros. And Tauros is representing Bovina. She needs you to shoot down those flies. She's a cow. Tauros is a cow. I chose Tauros over Miltank because I liked Tauros's color better for her. I think shiny Miltank is yellow, but I liked Tauros better, so I went with that. Next up is Incineroar, and Incineroar is representing Chief Unogopaz, the tiger guy who doesn't let you into the Stony Stadium unless you transform into a Stony. I love Unogopaz. He's hilarious. He's a key character in my eyes. After that, we've got Shiny Superior, and that's representing Slumber. I chose Shiny just because it kind of fit the color better enough. Specifically this, like, blue-green on Shiny Superior. Yeah, Slumber's super fun. My favorite part is how, once you get the Jiggy from him, he sleeps for the rest of time. Not dead, just asleep. After that, we have Hisuian Decidueye, representing Target-Zan. I wanted something that could, like, specifically kind of evoke his, like, darts, because he shoots darts at you, and Decidueye seemed to fit that really well with its general archer theme, and Hisuian Decidueye is the perfect color palette, and I couldn't think of anything better. Next we have Galarian Meowth, and he is representing Chief Blodazan, the guy who has lost the ancient relic thingy, and who's digging through his gold in the temple over there. There was a lot of confusion on, like, what exactly Chief Blodazan is. Turns out he's, like, a cat, I think? I always thought he was an otter, but I guess he's a cat, which makes sense, because Unogopaz is also a cat. So, yeah. And finally we have Larvitar, representing just the Stonies. I chose Larvitar because it could walk. I think that's the important thing. Like, yeah, Geodude maybe looks more like a Stony in your eyes, but I feel like Larvitar walks like them. And the walk is so important with how, like, slow you are when you turn into one. So yeah. Next up is Glitter Gulch Mine, one of my least favorite levels from the game. I don't hate it by any means, I just don't really like the second level ever. But that's besides the point. So first we got Oricorio, representing Canary Mary. I hate Canary Mary, but I also kind of love her. I hate racing her, I hate the way she looks, but Cheerleader Oricorio is perfect. Like, look at it. That's perfect. This is amazing. Next up we have Cacturne, and Cacturne is representing the Billy Bobs. The cactus guys who attack you and jump out, and they're a real pain in the neck. Next we got Thievul, representing Bully and Bill, I think it's got the mustache and everything. He's a fox. It's a fox. I love this. Thievel, Bully and Bill, easy peasy. Put a hat on Thievel, and they're basically the same character. We got Patrat representing Delberta. I learned today that Delberta is a mole. I thought she was a rat. She looks like a rat. She doesn't look like a mole. So I'm sticking with Patrat. I think Patrat actually works the best because its eyes sort of are reminiscent of Delberta's, like, little hat and stuff, you know? I don't know. They give me the same vibe. It's my video. I'll do whatever I want. Next we have Colossal, representing King Cole, obviously. It's the boss of the level. Colossal is basically him. This one's a no-brainer. And finally, so this is the first instance of me revealing how stupid I am. Originally, I had Carbink, and just representing, like, the level as a whole, with the glittery mine areas, you know, the mountains of jewels or whatever the fuck. That's stupid. That's dumb. Bad. So instead, the final Pokemon's gonna be Weezing, representing not only the poisonous gas that you save Canary Mary from, but also, Weezing can learn Self-Destruct, and maybe also Explosion. The important one is Self-Destruct, representing kind of how you self-destruct as a TNT charge when you transform with Wumba. Weezing is a way better option. Way better. Weezing poison gas explosion, yes. Next up is my favorite level, Witchy World. I absolutely love Witchy World. It takes forever to navigate, but I don't even care. It's so much fun. And first up, we've got Rhydon. What could Rhydon possibly be representing? Why, no one else except Big Al. I absolutely love the burger and fries mechanic. I think Big Al is hilarious. I think Banjo and Kazooie's interaction with him is hilarious. It's perfect. And, like, what else am I gonna pick other than Rhydon? And on that same vein, Salty Joe is getting represented by Delphox. Now, honestly, I think Delphox is a little fancy for Salty Joe, but I already used Thievel for Bully and Bill, and I feel like Thievel fits Bully and Bill better than Delphox as well. I like to think that Salty Joe fancies himself as being real special and elegant looking like Delphox. There weren't any other fox Pokemon. Weirdly. Next up we got Tyranitar. Of course, it's Mr. Patch. Kind of hilarious to represent this goofy inflatable T-Rex as Tyranitar. The dark mountain Pokemon. But it was specifically the color. Well, also the fact that, you know, they're both, like, T-Rex adjacent. But it was being green, specifically, that was like, yes, we nailed it. That's Mr. Patch. Time to throw grenades at him. Next up we got Shiny Orbeetle, which is the Saucer of Peril. I absolutely love that minigame. I think it's so much fun. I'm delighted every time I get to play it. I wish you had to do it more throughout the game. I went with Shiny Orbeetle specifically just for the color. It matches the Saucer's color palette better. And while there are other, like, UFO-themed Pokemon, Magnezone comes to mind, I just feel like Orbeetle, like, captured the essence of it best. Next up, we got Cubchoo, representing all of the Polar Bear kids, Soggy, Moggy, and Groggy, to a degree. So, kind of just pretend that there are 3 Cubchoos, and, you know, they're wearing different shirts. And there you go. It's the kids. Easy peasy. And finally, we have Alolan Rattata, representing the bad guys that run around who try to hit you with hammers. I learned today that their names are Jippo Jim, and I feel like the word Jippo is a word that I shouldn't say anymore, like kind of a thing that was, like, more okay to say back in 1997 when this game came out, but nowadays it doesn't sound as cool, so I'm just gonna call him Jim. So yeah, Alolan Rattata. I wanted a dark rat, and this one is perfect. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Are ya ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
Next up, we got Jolly Rogers, a level that I regularly forget exists. So, first up, we're gonna be representing Jolly with Politoed. It's the perfect color. It's like nice and happy. It absolutely feels like Jolly. Significantly better than the option that I had come up with a while ago, which was to represent Jolly with Frogadier. Dumb. Wrong. That's wrong. It's too cool. It's too blue. I think the thing I was working with was its gangly limbs, like Jolly, but I think Politoed fits it way better. Past me was dumb for thinking otherwise. Next up, we've got Galarian Linoon, which is Pano. I love Pano. I think he's hilarious. He sounds adorable and sad when he hits himself with his cash register. Something I've done in real life, fun fact, while I worked in retail. I love Pano, and I think Galarian Linoon is good enough, honestly. I don't really know what Pano is, so I just went with something cool and dark. Next up, we've got Squirtle, representing Tip Top Jr., the egg that Kazooie has to hatch. Squirtle! Little turtle guy! So cute! Next we got Lantern, being Lord Woo Fok Fok. This was the one time where I would have liked it if the shiny was a hideous green color, because then it would match Lord Woo Fok Fok better. Shiny Lantern is purple. It actually looks really nice. So we're stuck with normal Lantern. But either way, there really aren't any other, anglerfish Pokemon to work with, but, like, I had to get Woo Fok Fok in there. So, yeah. It's close enough. Next we got LGM representing the aliens, another feature of the game that I absolutely love. I think they're a real delight. Honestly, they play a bigger, more interesting role in Hailfire Peaks later, but you're introduced to them here, so it felt right to put LGM representing them for Jolly Rogers versus later down the line when we get to Hailfire Peaks. And finally, we've got Shiny Spoink representing Piggles and Trotty. And also kind of Crispy Bacon, but I don't really care about him. I really only care about the pig kids. I didn't know that their names were Piggles and Trotty, by the way. I've always just known them as the kids. I went with Shiny Spoink, again, just to kind of make the colors match better. Yellow certainly is closer to them than the purple was. There's a good number of pig Pokemon that I could have picked from. I wanted Spoink specifically because it felt weird enough to properly kind of jive with the kids' struggles with growing a third arm and having to deal with their polluted pond. So, yeah. Next up, we got Terrydactyl Land, the first of Banjo-Tooie's, way too fucking long levels. Like, first up we got Tyrantrum representing the T-Rex form that you take as you transform with Humba. It's my favorite transformation. I love that it makes you invincible when you're big, specifically. It's just fun. I wish I could run around the entire island as a giant T-Rex, and Tyrantrum fits it so perfectly. Just, mwah, chef's kiss. All he needs is the little backpack, and you're golden. Next up we got Aerodactyl, representing Terry himself, up in his nest. Aerodactyl's the only pterodactyl Pokemon. I guess the fossils haven't ever really doubled up on a type of dinosaur to represent, so I guess it makes sense. It just feels a little weird. It feels like there should be more pterodactyl Pokemon, but I guess it doesn't matter. It fits Terry pretty well, so who cares? Next is Bastiodon, representing Scrotty and her kids to a degree. So there isn't really a Triceratops Pokemon, really. Bastiodon is definitely the closest. But yeah, Bastiodon was the best option, and I really wanted to represent Scrotty, because helping her kids is such a massive endeavor that it felt imperative to include her in the list. Next up we got Cubone, representing the Oogle Boogles. The Oogle Boogles are so cute to me. That's really it. I think they're adorable. I feel sad for them when they're cold and hungry. I just want to save them. And Cubone is also pretty sad and hungry, so it fits as well as anything could, I think. Next up, we got Aurorus, representing specifically Chompasaurus, working with the long neck vibe. I think Chomposaurus is really fun. I really like the shooting the germs mini game inside him. However, Aurorus also kind of is reminiscent of Dippy as well. So yeah, it can just kind of double up like that. And finally, we got Chansey representing Terry's eggs. The egg quest is such a big one in my head, even though it shouldn't be. I had lost one of his eggs for so long. It was an eternity. I just could not find the fourth egg in, like, my first playthrough. And then when I finally did, it was like, it was an event. And then that's the one that always comes out gigantic. And it felt like, it was like, it's because I took so long. So yeah, the eggs are so important to me, and what else are you gonna pick than Chansey? I chose Chansey over Blissey, because Blissy's, like, curly little furry bits, they felt like too much. I wanted just a straight up egg, and Chansey nails it. Time for my actually least favorite level, Grunty Industries. It's too much. Grunty Industries is too much. It needs to calm down. And it also was pretty hard to come up with this team, but I did it because I'm a god. So let's get into that. Charge-a-Bug is representing the batteries. The batteries have always felt kind of important to me, probably because when I was younger, collecting them was kind of the only thing I could do. Like, oh cool, like, I got a battery, I stuffed it into my backpack, and put it where it belongs, nice, but then I couldn't do whatever the battery opened up or charged, you know? Next up is Diggersby, representing, the skivvies, all the little rabbits who need their clothes washed. Diggersby is a dirty-looking rabbit. It's a lot thicker than the ones in Banjo, but it definitely fits the vibe best of I need my shorts to get cleaned, so get on over here. Next up we got Carkle representing Chuffy the train. And I hear you might be saying, why have Chuffy represented here in Grunty Industries and not previously in Glitter Gulch Mine where it first appears? You have to enter Grunty Industries via the train. That's how you open up the level. The first time you get in, you have to do it through the train, so it feels more important for Grunty Industries. So, yeah, and there aren't any other train Pokemon, so that's why Carkle. Next we got Rotom Wash, obviously representing the washing machine form. I would be stupid if I didn't do this combination. Next up we got Carnivine, representing the Dragundas. That's the little chompy guys who bite you and spit you back out in the bog muck. So, yeah, I didn't know those guys had a name. It's Dragunda. It's Drag Under. That's the joke. And then finally, we have got Magnemite, representing the Tin Tops. I hate the Tin Tops. They're the biggest thing that bothers me with Grunty Industries. It's a pain in the ass to get anywhere in that level, because these assholes are just everywhere electrocuting you. I hate them. I hate them so much. But I don't hate Magnemite, but it does fit the Tin Tops really well. 'Cause you're hot and you're cold. Next up is Hailfire Peaks, and I will say, of all the teams, this is the one that is the least exciting because of just how Hailfire Peaks works. You'll see what I mean. So first up we got Turtonator, representing Chili Billy, the fire dragon, and then representing his brother, Chili Willy, we have Kyurem. So, like, I wanted a fire dragon and an ice dragon, and these were really the only options. Turtonator feels so lame next to Kyurem, but there weren't any other ice dragons. So whatever. This just fight Chili Billy first, and then Kyurem is how the other one's the stronger brother. There we go. Easy peasy. Next up we have Galar Darumaka, representing your snowball form that you do with Humba Wumba. I don't like this transformation, but there's so little in this level that I had no other options. So, snowball Pokemon. Let's go! Next up we got Crabominable, representing the Biggie Foots and Bigafoot, you know, in general. It's kind of hilarious. So he doesn't have feet, which is their whole deal, but I feel like Crabominable fit the vibe of the Biggiefoots better than Abomasnow did. Next up we got Darmanitan, representing the hot hands. That's the fire hands in the wall. So yeah, isn't that exciting? Because Darmanitan's got big-ass hands. So, hot hand. And then finally we have Chimchar representing the hot head. The little fire guys who go hee 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 hee, and then they hit you, and I hate them. Get out of here. I hate you. Go away. Chimchar, I chose Chimchar because it fit the silhouette of them the best. It looks the most like a hot head. And this is what I meant by the team being pretty dull. There's not a lot in in Hellfire Peaks. Really, I couldn't use any Pokemon to represent Saberman. And that's kind of everything in the level, so... Next up is Cloud Cuckoo Land, the super exciting. I love Cloud Cuckoo Land, honestly. First we have Musharna representing Mr. Fit. So Mr. Fit is an anteater, and Musharna seemed to be generally anteater / tapir adjacent. Also, it's wearing purple just like him, which was the biggest thing. But it's pretty fitting because, like, it's got its dreamy little cloud thing, and, like, it's like the clouds that Cloud Cuckoo Land is in. I feel like it fits really well, honestly. Next up is a significantly weaker one, Sunflora, representing the pansies. That's the flowers that attack you. I feel like the pansies are everywhere. I hate them. But I really love Sunflora. There are lots of flower Pokemon, but there are many that I already used in the previous video as well that I didn't want to double up on. And so, while Sunflora is perhaps a weak option here, I'm also the only person on Earth who seems to really like Sunflora, so, it's my video. It's my video, we do what I want. Next up we got Garbodor representing Guffo and his trash can. So there aren't really any can Pokemon specifically, but Guffo is trash. He lives in trash. And so why not pick Garbodor? What else am I gonna pick? Trubbish is just small Garbodor. Pick the big one, cause you can. Next up is a real jump in power level, Registeel, representing Mingy Jungo. So yeah, Registeel felt the best, mostly because of, like, the arms. Like, none of the other Steel-type Pokemon felt human-y enough, except for Bisharp, but that felt too sharp. I wanted something that felt more magical, and so Registeel fit the best, I think. Next up, so, okay, first, I had picked Klefki. I have no idea what Klefki was supposed to be doing. Like, I was looking at the Pokemon, and I was looking at Klefki, and I was like, I don't know what Klefki is. I think maybe I was trying to connect it to the Super Stash, because you have to get the code to open him up, and Klefki could do that in a way. But if that was what I was thinking, that's stupid. So no, Klefki isn't in this. Instead, Togekiss is. And Togekiss is representing the Floatius Floatium, the magical creature that you hatch in order to get Banjo across to some islands, in situations where you don't have Kazooie with you. The Floatus Floatium creature, was difficult to pick something from, because all of the images of it online are from facing it directly, and it's like, please let me see its wings. Togekiss seemed to fit it the best, because they're both kind of a similar shape, and they're mostly they're just wing and face, so yeah, Togekiss is doing that. And finally, we have Tornadus representing, like, the main mountain. Like, okay, listen, I really wanted to represent the cheese or the jelly, but I couldn't. Nothing fit that, really. There aren't any cheese Pokemon. So, I went with Tornadus. It fits the vibe of the level so well. It's got, like, the same color palette as some of the the guys who attack you in the cave. He's on a cloud, and it just he feels like the level. So that's what Tornadus is doing. So yeah.
Her sister was a witch, right? And what was her sister? A princess!
And finally, so Banjo-Tooie has one fewer level than Banjo-Kazooie, so I decided to use this slot to represent ILO hags in general, to kind of get some NPCs that we couldn't really represent last time. So, isn't that fun? So, first up, we've got Shiny Drillbur representing Bottles, because Bottles is so important in this game. He's the whole reason we're going on an adventure, and Shiny Drillbur has this, like, pinkish red color on it that matches Bottles' vest really well. Also, it's a mole, and he's a mole, so easy peasy lemon squeezy. Next up, we've got Sigalith representing Humba. So I wanted something more powerful than Xatu, specifically. Because, yeah, I wanted to... Obviously, I was pulling from Pokemon who have a more Native American sort of aesthetic to them when it came to design. And between them all, Sigalith felt the most powerful. Humba strikes me as a very strong individual. She can do better magic than Mumbo, you know? And so that's why I wanted Sigalith, because Sigalith felt the most, like, powerful. Also, its color palette matches, like, her and her wigwam really well. Next up, we got Vespiquen, representing Honeybee. I really like Honeybee. I think she's a fun addition. Having her be, like, a character you interact with in order to cash in your honeycombs to get more life is really fun. So, super fun stuff. And obviously, I'm gonna pick Vespiquen. What other bee Pokemon are there? Next up, we've got Slacking, representing Klungo. So, I wish Slacking's shiny was green. It's not. But specifically, it was like the face shape and how arm-heavy Slacking's design is that drew me to it representing Klungo. Originally, actually, I had Klungo represented with shiny Chestnut, and I was like, why did I do that? Why did I... A knight Pokemon. A strong, powerful, tall knight representing Klungo? That's so wrong. Next up, got a little bit of a stretch. It's Alakazam representing King Jingling. And I chose Alakazam because, one, it's the right color, and two, it's the right face shape. No Pokemon really look a ton like Jinjos. Alakazam was the closest I could come up with. And basically just like, if you put Alakazam in a robe, and like hide his body, then he looks a lot like Jingling. You know, put a little crown on his head, and there we go. It's a little bit of a stretch, but I think it's the best I could have done. And then finally, we have another weird one from me. So, it's Grunty. Gotta represent Grunty, she's so important. And I'm doing that with Shiny Mismagius. It's a witch Pokemon. She's a witch. The shiny is this hideous green color. Grunty is hideous. So it's just perfect. I had Zygarde, so I think I was trying to go for Grunty with that. Like, the green color and the black, that fits her really well. But in what way is Grunty like Zygarde? Why would I choose Zygarde? Why would I not even choose Grimmsnarl? Grimmsnarl would have been a better choice than Zygarde. So, yeah. That aside, we're going with Shiny Mismagius instead. For our delightful, flabby queen, Gruntilda. And yeah, there we go. That's the video. Doing these is super fun, in my opinion. I love Pokemon, I love Banjo, I love making, like, connections like this, even for the more loose ones. I think the teams are also a lot more well-rounded this time. Save for Hailfire Peaks, there's a lot more, like, variety across the typings for each level as well. Which perhaps is a testament to how diverse and expansive all of the levels ended up being in Banjo-Tooie versus Banjo-Kazooie. So yeah, I'd be delighted for Banjo-Tooie to finally, please come out, please. Please give me more banjo. But I guess if I ever play Nuts and Bolts, maybe I'll do this again somehow for Nuts and Bolts. There's an awful lot of not car Pokemon though, so I don't know how well that would work out. I have no other interesting things to say, so the video ends now.